Hello, we're Group 2, and we'll be talking about the effects of aging on metabolism and nutrition. In the last few decades, life expectancy of humans has skyrocketed. This change has brought with it the discovery of new problems associated with old age that usually have to do with the decline in efficiency of the body's biological processes. In this video, we'll focus on how aging affects metabolism and nutrition. Metabolism can be defined as a set of chemical reactions that take place in the body to maintain the proper functioning of its biological processes. These metabolic reactions can be divided into two groups, catabolic and anabolic reactions, depending on that which is being obtained from them. Catabolism is characterized by the breaking down of complex organic molecules into simpler ones in order to obtain energy from its reactions. One example of this type of reactions is glycolysis. On the other hand, anabolism is centered around the synthesis of more complex molecules from simple ones, for which energy needs to be provided. One example of an anabolic reaction is gluconeogenesis. Lastly, it's also important to mention the crucial role that enzymes play in the body's processes. Enzymes are highly specific biocatalysts. They can be either fully proteic in composition or present a non-proteic area, and they work by lowering a reaction's activation energy and therefore reducing the amount of energy needed to start metabolic reactions in the body.
Aging is a complex process which brings physiological changes, increasing the risk of nutrient deficiencies, like vitamin B12 deficiency due to decreased gastric acidity and calcium deficiency. Addressing the nutritional needs of the elderly requires understanding diverse nutritional statuses shaped by social, functional, and environmental factors like restricted income, social isolation, and drug impacts on nutrient utilization. Nutritional choices significantly influence hormonal changes in aging, impacting food intake, neurotransmitters, neuropeptides, and hormones, underscoring the need for accurate assessments of physiological or hormonal correlates. Aging correlates with a decline in immune function, making the elderly more susceptible to infections and cancer. Addressing deficiencies in vitamin E can potentially reverse immune impairments. Nutrition is central to understanding energy regulation and weight changes. Challenges in responding to overfeeding, underfeeding, and reduced hunger underscore nutrition's profound impact on energy balance regulation. This necessitates a shift toward adopting dietary patterns like vegetarian or Mediterranean diets for holistic and nutrition-centric support for healthy aging.
The physiological decline in food intake is very common among elderly people and results in nutritional deficiencies that have an important role in physical dysfunction and cognitive decline. The process of aging is marked by a loss of appetite, which results in a decrease in food intake. This is referred to as anorexia. Nearly 20 to 30% of elderly individuals suffer from it. This physiological decline in nutrition is due to multiple factors, the first one being a decline in sensory functioning. Reduced sense of smell is prevalent among elderly and caused by changes in olfactory epithelial cells. Reduced sense of taste is due to decreased number and sensitivity of papilla or taste bud density on the tongue. Both can lead to a reduced desire to eat. Hormones also contribute to decreased food intake. The plasma concentration of the CCK hormone and leptin hormone involved in providing the feeling of satiety increases, leading to early satiation and decreasing food intake. As well, with age, the plasma levels of the ghrelin hormone decreases, delaying gastric emptying. Finally, hypochlorhydria or reduction of stomach acid is prevalent in the senior population. Decreasing gastric acid secretion contributes to dysbiosis, the disruption of the microbiome resulting in an imbalance in the microbiota that further contributes to gastrointestinal malabsorption of nutrients such as iron and vitamin B12. Psychological and social factors also influence food intake among elderly. Depression, social isolation, poverty, widowhood are known to increase stress levels, which influence the dietary pattern and acts as a risk factor for anorexia.
As humans age, it is not uncommon to see that the decrease in the basal metabolic rate is much more prominent and clear, since the basal metabolic rate decreases in a complete linear relationship with age. It is known that the skeletal musculature is responsible for the most expenditure in energy during 24 hours, and as humans get older, the volume of the skeletal muscle decreases over time, causing the percentage of fat tissue to increase with age. The reason behind this is that there's a natural decline in muscle mass that occurs in all other people since they develop a condition called sarcopenia, which is related to the loss of muscle and strength with age. Additionally, when we get older and become less active, the basal metabolic rate also declines, meaning that humans burn fewer calories, which in the end makes fat be stored in the body at higher quantities. This accumulation of fats can lead to many alterations in common glucose and lipid metabolism. Furthermore, hormones are also essential to regulate and maintain metabolism. But as aging occurs, there is a decline in the production of multiple hormones, for example, growth hormone and sex hormones like estrogen and testosterone. This happens as the metabolic rate is also dependent on human sex, as the amount of hormones and lean muscle mass varies depending if you're a man or a woman, given that a fact that men tend to have more lean muscle mass than women because of testosterone levels, while women tend to have basal metabolic rate fluctuations because of changes in the levels of estrogen during the menstrual cycle, pregnancy, and menopause, which in the end influences metabolism. The addition and incorporation of these key factors has shown that with age, our metabolism slows and the rate at which we metabolize food decreases by 10% each decade after a human hits 20 years old. And when we are around age 50, there seems to be around a 30% drop in the metabolic rate on average.
Therapeutic interventions for promoting metabolic function with age in humans include dietary modifications, fasting patterns, aerobic and resistance training, and pharmacological strategies. Calorie restriction has been shown to increase lifespan and improve metabolic health, but pharmacologic interventions like resveratrol have shown no clinically meaningful responses. Regular exercise in older adults leads to less central body fat, better muscle function, and better insulin sensitivity compared to sedentary individuals. Adequate protein intake enhances resistant exercise benefits on skeletal muscle and strength, especially in older adults with anabolic resistance. Succession cells are a promising therapeutic target for age-related and metabolic diseases. Succession cells are the cells that eventually stop multiplying but don't die and remain in the tissue. Number of succession cells increase in tissue with aging. Cellular succession cells have been related with age-related health conditions, and it can disrupt homeostasis and promote metabolic diseases through mechanisms such as promoting systematic inflammation. Succession cells release chemicals that trigger inflammation, oxidative stress, and metabolic dysregulation. Recent studies show that senolytic drugs can remove succession cells from adipose tissue, while other strategies include xenomorphic drugs and antibody-mediated therapies. Further research is needed to determine if these therapies can improve body composition and metabolic health in aging humans. A balanced diet plays a pivotal role in offsetting age-related metabolic changes. Research, as highlighted in a scientific article, stresses the importance of protein-rich foods. Proteins are key in preserving muscle mass, vital as we age. They have a higher thermic effect of food, meaning they slightly boost metabolism due to the energy needed for digestion and absorption. Experts suggest incorporating adequate protein sources like lean meats, fish, legumes, and dairy. Studies cited in PubMed revealed that higher protein intake among older adults positively correlates with muscle protein synthesis, countering age-related muscle loss. Physical activity, especially tailored to aging bodies, is a potent ally against metabolic changes. According to research from PubMed, a combination of aerobic and resistance training significantly benefits older adults. Resistant training, such as weightlifting or bodyweight exercise, stimulates muscle protein synthesis, countering age-related muscle decline. This helps maintain or increase muscle mass, vital for a healthy metabolism. Additionally, incorporating an aerobic exercise like brisk walking, cycling, or swimming contributes to overall metabolic health.
Nowadays, it is impossible not to age, but it is possible to prevent early aging and therefore maintain a healthy state. As people age, their metabolism tends to slow down, leading to a decrease in calorie requirements and muscle mass may decline. To support metabolism and overall health as you age, it is important to follow a balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, lean proteins for muscle maintenance, whole grains, and also include increased calcium amounts and vitamin D for bone health. It is also important to minimize processed foods, limit added sugars, manage stress through relaxation techniques, maintain hydrated, and prioritize sleep is very important to avoid being tired during the days. Regular medical checkups can help catch and address potential health issues early. Staying socially active and mentally engaged also contribute to a healthier aging process. Finally, but not least, it is crucial to engage in regular physical activity to maintain muscle mass, strength, and flexibility, which can counteract the natural decline that comes with aging.
We always hear recommendations about what would be best for us and how we should live life, especially when it comes to aging. But will going on daily walks and eating veggies actually have an impact on our longevity and vitality? The answer is yes. After all the information we saw in the video, we get an understanding of why nutrition is important and why our metabolism changes over time, as well as what we can do to obtain a healthy life for as long as possible. But what does that look like in real life? Dan Butcher, a journalist and explorer, had the same question in mind when he started his expedition to Okinawa, Japan in the year 2000 to one of the so-called blue zones. Blue zones are areas which have a high density of centenarians, meaning people who live over 100 years. The blue zones are located in Sardinia, Italy, Icaria, Greece, a peninsula in Costa Rica, Lima, California, and Okinawa, Japan. Dan and his team discovered 9 habits, the so-called Power 9, that are followed by the groups of people. Some of these rules are a mostly plant-based diet, regular exercise, and a strong sense of community. Something you might want to take from this video is that your daily habits surrounding the kind of food you eat and exercise you do have a huge impact on what your life is going to be like when you're 80 years old.